A lawsuit filed against one of the top hospitals in the nation.
Two women have come forward accusing a former Mayo Clinic radiology technician of sexual assault. The alleged victims want the Phoenix hospital to be held accountable, and they are speaking exclusively with Fox 10's investigative reporter, Justin Lum.
Justin, there are serious allegations in this complaint. The suit says Mayo Clinic could have prevented all this.
That's right, John, Christina. The complaint says these two patients could not move or speak when these incidents happened, and we are concealing the identities of the victims. Some details may be graphic for viewers. Phoenix police investigated both cases, but the employee named as the suspect will never face charges. Two women are opening up to Fox 10 Investigates about their trauma of alleged sexual assault at Mayo Clinic's Phoenix campus. According to this recently filed civil lawsuit, victim 1 and victim 2, referred to as Jane Doe and Mary Rowe, were both incapacitated in the ER just 6 months apart, unable to speak or move.
You know, a lot of people have those dreams where, like, you're in danger, you're trying to, like, get someone you can't.
If the room was bright and people were talking, I could hear some things and understand, so I knew I was going for a CT scan.
For both women, different medical episodes brought them to Mayo Clinic. Both say they were left alone with radiology technician Jordan Baker. On June 25, 2021, Jane says she was undergoing an x-ray when the unthinkable happened.
We were alone between doing his job. He sexually assaulted me, he hurt me, and then he hurt me so bad that I continued to hurt.
According to the complaint, Jane finally cried out and moved her arm before Baker stopped the assault and took Jane back to her room. Alicia Funkhauser is the lawyer representing the alleged victims.
I think what is most shocking about this case is how the first victim was handled by the Mayo Clinic.
Jane says the nurse she reported the sex assault to did not take her seriously at all.
She leaned over me, touched my chest, because my husband was on my right, to tell us that he was homosexual, so I wasn't his type.
She was, in a sense, belittled about it. She was made to feel almost an "oh, honey, that couldn't have happened" response.
After several hours, Jane's report was taken by a supervisor. The next day, she called Phoenix police, providing an officer more details, claiming she had been fondled, violated, and abused. By July 6th, Mayo Clinic's risk management sent her this letter saying the internal investigation was complete. Jane learned that Mayo Clinic placed Baker on 3 days of administrative leave. Why did Mayo Clinic quickly complete this case, close it, this internal investigation they called it, and just give him 3 administrative days of leave?
Well, I think it's important to know that the first victim reported her assault right when it happened. It was a Friday. So if he was on administrative leave for 3 days, that was Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And she tells me that the corporate investigation wouldn't have even started until a weekday. So I'm not sure they even did a full 3 days of investigating before they put him back on the floor.
The Phoenix police report reveals a follow-up with a Mayo Clinic senior risk analyst. When asked why staff never contacted authorities after the alleged sexual assault, Mayo Clinic said the patient is usually asked if they want police called or not. But Jane says she was never given the option. The mandated reporter said nothing, basically.
They said nothing to the police, to the people that matter.
Phoenix police closed the case due to insufficient evidence, but Jane never received a forensic exam so DNA evidence could be collected, and Baker had denied the allegations against him to investigators. For the next several months, Jane says she struggled.
But I just had to accept that this man knew what I looked like, and I didn't know what he looked like. And he could be the person next to me.
On December 29th, 2021, victim 2, Mary Rowe, says she was in the care of Jordan Baker getting a CT scan when this happened.
It was definitely more of a sexual touch, an inappropriate touch, and then he would stop. And I think that's when I would calm down, maybe go, more in a relaxed state, and then he would start again. And then when he started again, I knew I was in trouble. I knew this was not right.
Draped in a hospital gown, Mary laid on a bed in a room she remembers as cold and dark, fighting from inside her own body.
I was trying to scream. I remember trying, but I couldn't.
What does that feel like, trying to scream?
There's no other. It's hopeless. And then he stopped again. And he took it too far.
Then she says she mustered the word.
And at that point, I was able to yell out to stop. And I remember trying to push or hit. And at that point, I did everything in my power to try to open my eyes and to stay awake.
Mary reported the incident to a nurse and demanded to speak to police immediately. She also had a rape kit exam completed.
We're at Mayo Clinic. We purposely changed hospitals so we could be in the Mayo Clinic system because we wanted to be with the best.
On January 12th, Phoenix police detained Jordan Baker and brought him to the Mountain View precinct for questioning. Police say he denied touching Mary Rowe. Detectives had a court order ready and obtained Baker's DNA. They told him a lie detector test would be scheduled, but the next day, Mesa police found Baker dead at his home with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Authorities say Baker had texted a family member making suicidal statements and sent them money for funeral arrangements. The medical examiner has since ruled his manner of death a suicide.
It is my strong belief that he did so because he knew he was going to be held accountable.
In an email, Phoenix PD tells me due to Baker's death, the request for the DNA test was withdrawn and Mary's case was closed. The lawsuit accuses Mayo Clinic of negligent supervision and retention.
Both husbands were in the emergency room with their wives. A simple policy that says invite the spouse, the caregiver, the person that's there with the hospital in the emergency room to the scan to attend would have prevented this.
In a statement from Mayo Clinic, a spokesman says, Mayo Clinic is committed to providing a safe and healing environment for patients. When these incidents were reported, they were promptly investigated. Mayo Clinic fully cooperated with law enforcement in this matter. Out of respect for the privacy of all those involved, we will not comment on the recently filed legal action. Jane and Mary believe they are not the only victims.
There's 6 months between my assault and the first victim's complaint. There's no doubt in my mind that there is more victims.
What is life like now after having this happen to you?
Not great. I am in consistent therapy. I have trouble touching people or letting them touch me. I'm nervous in other medical centers. I can't even get my hair done because someone would have to lean over my head. And Jordan had breathed on my forehead, so I can't handle that.
I relive what he did to me in my nightmares. I don't have control of my unconscious thoughts.
Now, I did follow up with Phoenix police on protocol to close this case due to a death and withdraw a DNA test request. I was told each case is unique, and in this situation, only one suspect here being Jordan Baker, so this test will not happen.
What else has Mayo Clinic said on this? Because obviously the situation is so serious, you want to make sure it's not happening to other people. There aren't other suspects.
Officials have decided to only release that statement. They won't comment on pending litigation, but I followed up and wanted to know about the protocols for these CT scans and x-rays. Is there only one radiology technician allowed in the room, especially when you have a case like this with incapacitated patients at the time? I have not heard back yet.
Yeah, often there are two people in there. when you get help. So that's interesting. Okay, Justin Lum tonight. Thank you, Justin.
Yeah.